Hello, my name is Chrisshouse. Today we are going to learn about the history of cannabis. Now I think it's important that we all understand that where cannabis came from. It is important today because everybody's starting to legalize it thanks to the Farm Bill. And so, besides the fact that I have had an up-close and personal relationship with cannabis since I was 15 years old. Now, there was long periods when I was working jobs like at the airport that it was not so personal. I didn't want to leave my job, that's for sure. But I digress here. I have tons of notes here, so I'll be looking down at them. The history of cannabis dates back to at least the 3rd millennia BC. And for millennia, the plant has been valued for its fiber, medicinal, recreational, religious properties, for the psychoactive ingredients were used in religious practices and also recreational, as we know. But cannabis can make clothes. It can make any kind of anything that's cloth-like. It makes ropes. In fact, there was a point in time in the U.S. that every farmer had to grow industrial hemp to make rope for the Navy. So, it's had its ups and downs. It's been banned many times all over the world. It's just amazing how it always comes back, and it's always shown to be a healthy alternative for things. I mean, when you think about it, if you're growing industrial hemp, you save the trees. So, like I say, I had an up-close and personal relationship, and my receptors in my body, your cannabis receptors are all over your body, and mine were very receptive. So I was telling you about the farmer in the United States. And I've got the note here somewhere. Here it is. Our founding fathers grew hemp for rope, clothes, and many other things. In fact, the first American flag sewn by Betsy Ross was made out of hemp because it was the strongest fiber available at the time. And I found that fascinating, actually. I had never thought about it before. There's also speculation, since it was really big in the Mideast around the time of Jesus, that possibly he and his disciples also partaked. You never know. I didn't do any research on that part of it. Now, there was a movie put out, and I don't know if you've seen it. Nowadays it's known as a hysterical thing to be laughed at. And to tell you the truth, this movie, I always thought that it was funded by the Alcohol Coalition, because when it was put out, it was right after Prohibition. And I figured that everybody had been smoking pot and they didn't care about the alcohol anymore, so the alcohol people wanted it banned. But come to find out, a church group looking for somebody to blame for the Great Depression decided it was cannabis that was causing all the problems in the world. So they funded this movie called Reefer Madness. And if you have not seen it, you should go watch it. It's really funny now to watch it. But back in the 30s and 40s, it scared the hell out of people. And people those days didn't have any way to fact check. So, like I told you, there are cannabinoid receptors located throughout the body. It involves a variety of psychological processes from appetite, pain sensation, mood memory, and I did research, of course, and you'll have to do your own because I'm not a doctor. But because of, thanks to the Farm Bill, which President Trump signed into legislation in 2018, industrial hemp and legalization of medical and recreational cannabis at the state level, the CBD industry has exploded. I mean, it's in the billions of dollars and expected to keep rising. There have been trials with the CBD oils going on for many, many years. It started in Illinois at the University of Illinois. I have that written down here someplace. University of Illinois. And then it's continued to progress since then. That was in the 1940s. Now, in fact, I had a friend who made her own salve, pain salve, for many, many years that had hemp oil in it. And it was really good salve, but of course, since the progression of CBD oil, her demand is not so much low, or is lower than it was because there's so much out there now. I have to tell you a little story about me. About 3 months ago, my little dog died. Now, she had been ill for quite a while, but she was the kind of dog that could not be left alone. She did not want to be alone ever. So I was pretty much stuck here with her because she would bark her head off if ever I left her. So, and it would upset the whole household. And it didn't matter if somebody came back here and got her and took her up with them. She just didn't want me to go anywhere. So for many years, I didn't do any very much physical activity at all. When she passed, though, I decided to go back to the gym, which is good because I am of age that I can have silver sneakers and my gym membership is free. So I really like that. But I had sat here for so long with not much activity. The pain was debilitating. And so I had to find something to, in fact, make it so that I could go to the gym again, which I can now. And I can only tell you my experience that CBD helps your pain. And you'll have to talk to your own doctor. I'm not a doctor. I can't advise you to do it, but I'm telling you, it is great pain relief. needless to say, since it dates back to at least 3rd millennia BC, cannabis was likely one of the first crops to ever be planted. And I think that's amazing that it's lasted and it's had its ups and downs, and it's been found in every parts of the world, and maybe it was given to us for a reason, because it's so good for us, so good for our health, and in the health of pain and memory and digestion, you name it. And again, I'm not a doctor, but I know what it does for me. And I know that my body likes it. It's very receptive to the receptors. So far, since the Farm Bill, 11 states have legalized cannabis for medicinal and recreational use. Most allow you to have an ounce on you and grow up to 6 plants within your own house. So you can't run out and buy it off the street. I guess you could, there's medical places you can go to, pot shops or whatever they're called. I never went to one, although I checked into one at one time before it was. So 11 states plus the District of Columbia allow you to grow your own and have an ounce on you. There's also Holland, for many years, legalized it, and they had cafes over there where you could just go in and smoke it. And I heard they had vending machines, but I don't know. I do know that if the airline people took a trip to Holland, they were drug tested when they came back. So, way to ruin the trip, airlines. Anyway, I digress again. So, I just read that the first weed restaurant, has been opened here in California. And I thought that was kind of fascinating too. So things are changing, and we have been denied the chance to at least try to see if the health benefits are there for you. I can only attest to me, and the health benefits have been there in the products I found. So I can't advise you to run out and buy any. I can only advise you that you have to try it for yourself. And if you have concerns, you do need to talk to a doctor. But from my perspective, there should be no concerns. And if you do your own research, you will be safe within yourself, because there's a plethora of information out now that should make it easy for you to discover it. And Reefer Madness, I believe, is on YouTube. And like I say, it's hilarious to watch. And you can tell it's a 1930s production. But I did find it fascinating that it was not the alcohol people that pushed for marijuana to be criminalized. And I found out also at different points of history, it's been banned in almost every place all over the world. But it always resurfaces as a good thing for your health. So, do your own, like I say, your own checking up, and then you will know within yourself whether it's good for you or not. I appreciate you listening, and I hope to talk to you again soon.